I know.
It's so
Yeah,
weird.
it is weird, and that's why like my hair always comes out of my ponytail, and I'll go to fix it, and it's on the wrong side, and it gets all messed up.
I know. I'm even looking. Look, I feel like I should do that to do this to
Yeah,
cover the. It's so
I
weird.
know. Oh, what's going on here? Hang on a second. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's well, okay, here we go. Facebook was having a problem. We're live on 5 platforms.
Oh my
We
gosh.
we got three of them going so far. Still waiting on 2 of them. We got
Hmm.
the 3 main ones though. So
How do you keep up with all that? That's a lot of work.
I don't know. It's been a natural progression. It's been a natural
Hmm.
progression. Well, for some reason we're not coming up in the Soulogy group. Maybe the groups are probably out. So I'm just going to cancel that. Cancel the group
Let me try to
and
lighten my light.
cancel that. Okay. So we're live on 3 platforms today.
Three.
Huh.
Okay.
That's fine. All right. So welcome everybody. God, we already got 38 people in the house. Wow. Okay. Well, let me play the intro. It's only a minute 19 seconds, so we can allow people more time to come in so we can get to know our new beautiful beloved sister who I don't know anything about, which is typical Soulogy style. We just get to know each other on camera. Be right back.
Hmm.
What's happening, everybody? Excuse me. What's going on? It's been a powerful 2, 3 days, and it's nice to get back in the saddle again. We had a great show this morning, and we've got 2 today. Nannette, Burnette. I got her name right. It wasn't that difficult. Oh, let me turn on your volume. Sorry about that. And we have
Oh.
another one after this with Melina Ferguson. So yeah, we don't know each other. I do recognize your name. I'm not sure where I've seen it, but I do recognize it. And I just want to say thank you for coming in and sharing space with us and
Hmm.
honoring us with your presence today, even though you're backwards. Yeah, it's over
I
here.
feel backward. Yeah.
I know.
This way.
I can tell already. You laugh a lot, and you're yeah. You got a kind of a laughing humorous frequency, which is cool because there's a lot of wisdom in the humor. But yeah, I don't know. How did you find out, or how did this all get set up? Did Leilani do it?
Angie.
Who?
No,
Angie.
well, Angie, I saw you. I saw Angie on the show, Angie
Okay.
Kemple,
Oh,
and
okay.
I felt like I knew you. Yes, I feel like I know you
I think I
somehow. I don't.
remember.
I mean, you
I
know
think
how
I
that
remember.
is.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that now. I remember you sent a message and then I forwarded it. I think that's what
Yeah,
happened. Yeah, that's what happened.
yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. So are you in
Hmm.
Canada? Is that where you're at? Are you in Canada?
Why do you think I'm in? Oh
Because
no, no,
this is Montreal.
no. Yeah, that's my guy sitting over there. That's my
Oh, I got.
guy's.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My guy's from Montreal. I'm in Texas, really, right now. Somewhere in Texas.
oh, you're in Texas. That's where I'm from. I'm from Texas. I'm from
Mm.
South Texas originally.
Yeah, I heard you
Lived in
say.
Yeah, I lived in Houston for a long time. I went to school in Nacogdoches. I lived in Irving, Dallas Fort Worth area. I lived in Austin. I lived in San Antonio. So I've lived all over Texas. I'm a Texas boy.
I live
Yeah.
nearest to Austin, yeah.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
like New Braunfels area?
But
New Braunfels,
no,
San
the other
Marcos.
way. I'm
Oh,
the
the
other
other way.
way.
Waco, Killeen area. Up
Hmm.
that way. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
beautiful.
Way.
Xanacosa is in Texas
Well,
too. Oh, Angela Rose. That's who you're talking about. Okay, I got you.
oh
Angela
yeah,
Rose.
Rose. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I did it wrong. I
it's
forgot.
okay.
Yeah.
So, how long have you
Yes,
been?
yes.
How long have you been like this? How long have you been like this?
What, Lassie?
No, I'm kidding with you. How long you been
Uh,
woke up? How
oh,
long you been awake?
I was a child. I don't know. Sometime
Yeah.
as a child. You know, and it's the same story because in the 80s and 90s, there there was no one to talk to about this stuff. You know, I remember I saw very clearly as a child, and it was scary because I had a portal in my bedroom. And when I was about 16, I said, "That's it. That's enough. That's enough. I don't want to see this anymore." So it went away for a while. But never I'm very highly empathic.
Hmm.
Never went away, and the knowing and all that stuff. But you know, that's one of the things about right now is that people are waking up right now. They don't have the luxury of time. Not that we found it to be such a luxury back then, you know, but it is kind of a little bit of a luxury. So they don't have the luxury of time.
Yeah.
And they really have to learn quick that the answers are not out there, they're
Yeah.
inside, you know, if that's where your answers are. But yeah, most of my life it's been in and out, in and out. I remember, what was it, like 25 years ago is when like Abraham Hicks was getting popular.
Like
And I was
mid
like, oh my
90s.
God, someone's talking about this stuff. Yeah, someone's talking about this stuff. And no, they didn't get real popular till the early, close to 2000. I remember
Yeah.
things really ramping up in 2000.
Yeah.
And so you know, it just piqued me back into it around
Yeah. I
then.
was not. I was
And
not.
Cryon.
Yeah. Crayon's been around a long time. I guess Bashar's been around a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come into any of it till
Mm-hmm.
2011, really about 2013, 2014. I mean, I woke up in 2011, but I wasn't really active online but anyway, it's not about me. So you had, and so I ask a lot of these questions. Yeah, I ask a lot of these questions because there are a lot of people waking up, and you do make a good point. So well, I can't put myself in that category, but even though I woke up in the summer of 2011, we still had more time, right? That's what you were saying. There was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time to work through this and digest it. Although I think that the first wave of the first waivers, you know, like you, my wife, because hers was 99. They opened up these energetic doors, which even though these people waking up now are fast tracking from one perspective, but they're also processing the information much faster too, because I think the consciousness was much
Yeah.
denser back then.
Because it goes up into the collective. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think
Y'all
so.
anchored in the information, and then also the internet, I think really helped because you know,
Mm.
I mean, it's documented scientifically. I mean, when a kid learns things on a daily basis at warp speed, and then it goes up and up and up until you're about 18, then it starts to go down. But I think the internet kind of really expanded a lot around 2010, 2012. And so the information is
Mm-hmm.
not just the etheric information, but what's in front of you, and research and all that stuff moves a lot quicker too. But now you said that
Well, that can tend to, if you don't, that can tend to cause backtracking too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of there's a lot of information out there. So I think a lot of times people they want to sponge everything up, and
Yeah.
it's not that there's no time. I feel like it's not that there's no time, but that the energy is, it's ramped up right now. It's ramped up for moving forward. It's so
Yeah.
ramped up,
Yeah.
and it's pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, and we
I'm
talk about
sorry I
this.
cut your.
No, you didn't cut me off. I was just going to say that we talk about this sometimes. It popped up a few shows ago with somebody who, I can't remember who it was. I know it was a woman, but and then we were talking like 1980, early 90s. And we were just talking that, what took somebody a year or 2 years might take a month or 2 months now because I guess the consciousness just changed.
Yes.
Steve Velarde said we opened a portal collectively. So I guess, for all intents and purposes, that's a good way to explain it. But you said that when you were young, that you had a portal in your bedroom. Is that right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Now
Yes,
in
all
retrospect,
kinds of.
yeah, but like in retrospect,
Go ahead.
yeah, there's a lag. So we're not interrupting each other. It just sounds like that. There's a little bit of a lag. So,
Okay.
and the reason I'm bringing this up again is because there's a lot of people waking up. So they're having experiences that people in the past have had. And so, like you said, you didn't hear anyone talking about it till Abraham Hicks. Now maybe they can gain something or glean something from you. But so I traveled quite a bit before we settled down, and I stayed in a lot of different places. And I remember on 2 occasions, there was no doubt that I was in a bedroom and there was a portal. And I knew I was there for a reason and all that. And so I can kind of relate to that. But in retrospect, do you think that you were the portal, or do you think that bedroom was the portal?
I think I was part of it in retrospect. Energetically, I think there are certain things that come together to create it. So yeah, I think so.
What kind of stuff were you
It
seeing
feels
back
like that would be correct.
then? Yeah. What kind of stuff were you
I
seeing?
saw everything. So I know, like, my grandmother would walk up and down all the time. And then other beings, um, I saw things that I've blacked out. I blacked out a lot of stuff. I was
Yeah.
there was good and bad coming through because there was
Yeah.
bad energy in the house. I'm
Yeah.
not going to go expound on that, but there was bad energy in the house. So there was good and bad coming in, and I'm very empathic. So at night I was just so scared to move around. I was scared all the time.
Yeah.
My sister closed the portal, I think, a few years after we left the house. Isn't that nice?
Is
She went in
she
and closed it, but
is she like you? I mean, do
um,
y'all?
yes and no.
Yeah.
She was awake. She's been awake her whole life too. But she has gone off of that into the.
Yeah.
She just wants to stay mostly in the 3D. She does stuff privately,
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
if they start nudging her, she won't have a choice. But then again, some people are
I
doing that.
know.
I've got a family member that's done the same thing, and I recognize that's just the experience that they've chosen, and it's okay. I mean, it's just what they want to do. I mean, after all, we did come here to be human. Now, in terms of because this is
Well,
the
she
kind
did her stuff earlier.
she did.
You know how you feel like you have a mission? She did, yeah, she did a lot of energy work earlier
Well, if she closed the
in
portal,
life. So
she must have been doing something right.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 oh yeah.
Now, like in terms of well, like I don't want to say good and evil, but energy of light, energy of darkness. I think there's been a lot of, as the consciousness has expanded, there's been a wider acceptance, I guess, of all aspects of the universe. Okay. But so like back in those days, especially with you being young, I'm sure, there was stuff that even wasn't dark energy that probably scared you because it's just, off the wall.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
did you tell, I mean, did you tell your parents? Did you tell people about it? or did you just keep it to yourself?
I mean, we told our mom, and she acted like it was we thought it was normal stuff. Like we just thought it was all normal.
Yeah.
I don't know that she actually saw or anything like that, but she just was like, whatever, yeah, okay. So, because we would say, hey, Mom, we thought you were going to the bathroom last night. We couldn't sleep. We saw you walk down the hall. And we go in there, and no one's in there. Oh, that was my mom. So my grandma would walk up and down
Oh,
the hallway.
she told you it was her mom. So she knew too.
Mm-hmm.
Far out. That's
Mm-hmm.
trippy.
She
That's
knew.
very trippy. So did you have like a reawakening? I mean, did you kind of put it on the back burner and it was always there, but was there anything that kind of spurred you to come out, and start,
Yes, kind of all at once. Yeah, because it's not like I didn't like completely go to sleep or anything. I was always, I was always into healing. I was always, I always kind of knew things. I didn't close myself off, but I had a huge, a few years ago, reawakening. I had a lot of things happen at once,
like a lot of trauma,
um,
stuff like that, like a lot of traumas.
trauma, yes. And then like I had, the whole relationship stuff,
Yeah.
and then I had a health issue that I healed. I had, everything hit, and then my guide, my guide came to me, and that was it. I started talking to my guide, working with, and boom, 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 weird things started happening. I went to Sedona, and I knew the night before I wrote down, we're going to get these crystals. And I thought my friend was going to get them. And I didn't even know what I was talking about. I wrote down all the crystals we were going to get. And I'm sitting at one of the vortices, and this huge being shows up. And I see a crystal go from his heart chakra into you can't miss this. Like it was crazy. I thought it was the craziest thing ever, but this happened at every vortex in Sedona, and I missed a couple. So when we were leaving, I had beings tracking me down on the way out. My friend was driving. I had them coming up to me on the way. It was crazy. And I was like,
was this
what in the world
visual?
is this?
Was it third eye or was it visual?
Yeah, it was third eye.
It was third eye.
That was when I was a kid, I was visual.
Yeah.
But it was third eye. I'm third eye now. I haven't gotten that back.
Yeah.
But it was really clear. I mean, it was clear. I was in shock because first of all, I thought my friend was going to be getting the crystals, not me. I was just writing it down for her, and then it just and I get on the airplane and I have the biggest headache, and I said, because it's energy. I need to unload some of this on you. You need to take some of this because it was just everywhere. Like it kept going into different chakras. And I know that you probably have a lot of viewers that do this kind of thing, so it's not so weird. But when it happens to you, you think it's weird, right?
Yeah.
You're like, what in the world? And then after I left there, I can't remember which vortex it is, but several times I've been called back there. So from my house, I go there and I meet with these beings, and they give me information or energy.
All right,
And it's one thing after. I'm a very much an energy user, energy mover, traveler, portal travel, all that stuff. So but it took that to really make me see, okay, you know what, this is something, and you need to go keep going with this, but that kind of thing happened. I healed psoriatic arthritis in my body. My guide showed me for 3 years. So now I kind of teach this. It's not a step-by-step craft, but I call it quantum healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very quantum, but kind of if you have the ability to channel or to feel, then you can find your way through it. So I do retreats. Well,
Okay.
before the pandemic started, I started doing retreats. It's my thing. It's amazing. You get together with a group of people. It doesn't matter what you
Yeah,
talk about.
I know.
Because
It's just being,
I'll do self-empowerment, I'll do
yeah,
healing. It's just in the yes, you watch these people
yeah.
who think they have nothing and all these abilities are like boom. They just from the energy of being there, from the vortex you're near, whatever. It's amazing. It's amazing. But I miss that a lot. I kind
So,
of
so yeah, I'm going to dig into this a little bit. So the being, okay, first of all, you said your guide. Now, is your guide, do you feel like your guide your higher self, or how do you refer, what do you consider your guide to be? Some people talk about a team.
no.
Yeah. So this is different. This is like a
Yeah,
personal
because
guide.
but when you integrate your higher self, which I
Yeah.
hadn't at the time, well, he's
Hmm.
my other half, really.
I got you.
So I did this thing backwards. I met him spiritually first. So he started guiding me and started going through the healing, the inner work you have to do, all that
Yeah.
fun stuff, you
Mm.
know. And then I started integrating my higher self. So uh yeah, that guide. I mean, I had other guides that would come around,
Yeah.
but when he showed up, it was like, okay, I'm good. I mean, I can teach you whatever you need to know, and then you can. And then there came a point where he said, okay, now you're on your own.
So
Now you
he,
can do this on your own. Okie
yeah,
doke.
cool. And what
He's
about
still there, but yeah.
the beings in Sedona? Did they tell you who they were? Did they give you any idea of the connect of the relationship to you?
See, I don't care about any of that stuff.
I'm just
This is the
curious.
thing about me. Like, I'm not so. There were some of them felt God and goddess like. I know that's weird, but some of
No,
them
it's not
were.
weird. You're with all the
Um,
weird people. Don't worry about it.
and then yeah, and then there was a Pleiadian. There was a
Mm.
the blue. What's the blue ones? What was
Avians? Oh,
there was a
Syrians?
blue one?
Mm.
What?
Syrians?
Not Syrian and not a. Yeah, maybe. No, there was an Arcturian, and then there was the purple one. What's the purple ones?
I don't know. Maybe
I
Pleiadians. I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't know. I don't have the expertise. I look at you though, and all I see is Pleiadians.
Pleiadians are white.
Yeah, that's
Well, I think I am connected to the one. There's one that's in Middle Earth, and it's like she sits in a chair sometimes, and she'll come into my consciousness, and then we'll talk. Like she'll
do,
contact me.
do you
I
see
think that
these?
she feels familiar.
No, I totally agree with you in terms of it's I hate to I'm not making light of it, but it's information, it's energy
Hmm.
communicating to you
Hmm.
information so you can embody and then go about your
Hmm.
business. But from your perspective, just it's no right or wrong answer. Do you feel that each one of these, specifically like the inner earth and then maybe some of these other ones, are aspects of you? Do you feel like there might be aspects of you?
But I really don't think about it, but isn't everyone an aspect of me? What is
True.
oneness? I
True.
mean, aren't we
True.
all an aspect of each
Yeah,
other?
you're right. Touche. That's very good. Yeah,
That's how I look at it. I'm very much,
I like that.
focused on the oneness thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that because you keep it all to yourself. I think that's
Hmm.
really good, and I think a lot of people could benefit by hearing that because there's a lot of people. I say a lot. There's a significant number of people that over-identify with their connection, which to me takes the focus off the whole point, which is we're here to be divine humans, God's goddesses in the flesh, utilizing this information to expand our experience as opposed to getting lost in it. It's great. But I think one of the things that's happening in 2020 is the universal energy is forcing us to let that go, just like it's forced us to let go of our traumas and all the other stuff, right?
Well, and that's the thing. So sometimes, so I feel like some of us need to figure out who we are,
Yeah.
right? For instance, you're in a divine partnership, and sometimes that's helpful. So to figure out who you are. But for me, I don't share that kind of thing with people, because to me, if you're coming into the spiritual world, you're already feeling a little insecure. I've been in that position.
Yeah.
And so when you hear someone else say who they are, it does not promote oneness, it promotes separation.
I
And
agree.
for me, no one, yeah, you can't do that, because I'm not better than you.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
better than anyone. We're all one. We're all coming from the same place. And to promote that, for me, and that's just my opinion, I don't look down on anyone that does that. It's just the reason for me why. And I don't look into past lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff
Yeah.
unless I need to heal something. I've had past lives brought up to
Yeah.
heal things, but that's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's information. Like, well, even when people talk about past lives, I wonder to myself, I've had a handful, 8 or 9, that I was shown, but I think I'll use myself. I think to myself, well, how do I know that was even me? I might have been like one cell in their big toe, I mean, I might have been part of an energy complex as opposed to the whole entire being. But and at the end of the day, because my wife says it all the time, it doesn't even matter. It's information. It comes in, you take it in,
It doesn't matter.
and then you move on. It's no different than me walking to the store after this show to go get a Coke. I may come across an animal. I may come across, a third eye experience. I may run into some stranger, and it's the same thing. There's information that's being presented to me, and sometimes right away, and sometimes you get it later, and sometimes you don't even know what happened. And then to your point too, like the experiences that you're describing, I can't say that I've had them. I've had them, but you seem to have them like real vividly from a very young age, right? And that doesn't mean that I can't have them. It doesn't mean that that's unique to you. I may do things that you aren't as that aren't as matured, or enhanced at this point. But the truth is, anything you can do, I can do, and vice versa, right?
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I knew you were going to sing.
Why not? No.
I don't know. Yeah, go. Isn't that from Carol Burnette? Where is that from?
Is it?
I think
my
so.
God. I don't know. I just know the song. No, but it's true. I mean, anyone can do anything. I teach people how to do things. I teach people how to go through portals. And people, when they first do things like this, they say, well, I can't see. Well, I couldn't see when I first started going through a portal. I had to feel. So you just find what your strength is and you build from there, because you can start to see from feeling. It's just a matter of being guided properly and learning to trust yourself and your inner guidance. And it doesn't matter if you know who you are. You can always pull in your own soul energy. No one can stop you from doing that because you don't know who you are. You know what I mean? So, see, I'm a self-empowerment person. And to me, it's important. We have to empower ourselves. We have to love ourselves in order to move forward. We have to stand in our own power, and that's, I'm preaching.
No, this is great. This is exactly the Kool-Aid I drink. I mean, a lot of it I picked up from my wife, because she's a lot like you. Or at least, I would restate that. I wasn't confident in my own experiences. And so I guess the same kind of story with you. Like, you must have gained more confidence when you saw Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks. You started seeing, shows and stuff where they're talking about the same thing that you were going through, and you didn't think you were crazy anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, you just said something.
I don't know if I ever thought I was crazy. Other people did.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, I want to ask you like 10 different questions. So like in regard to, like the experiences that you've had, okay, or what you've done with it, because you've taken this information and now you're sharing it, which is beautiful. This is what we all should be doing and will be doing, I'm sure. But I really like what you said about, because so many people underestimate their own connection. And I think that's common to all of us in some aspect of the spectrum or another. But as an example, I can think of when I met Morgan and she says to me, pull up your higher self. And I'd never done that before. Right. And I'm like,
Yes.
well, yeah, I was like, how do you do that? And then it happened. And then, and it was amazing. And then I remember shortly thereafter, I said, hey, let's do that again. I've got something I need to work on. Can you get me started? You know, I used to call her up on the phone and say, can you get me started? Then I'd hang up and do my work. Actually, was really coming on to her at the time. But what happened was, I remember one time, she said, pull up your higher self. And I said, I can't. She goes, okay, picture yourself on a street corner, and there's 4 corners. And I want you to turn around and look. And what do you see? And there he was, right? So there's these little tricks that I think people like you can, and that's what you're saying. So like, let's take, for example, if you're okay with this, can we take, for example, traveling through a portal? Like if I came to you and said, hey, I want to go surf some portals. I've never done it before consciously. I don't know if I've done it, you know, or whatever my story is. What would you tell me? How would we do that? Can we do that? Is that okay?
We can do that. Where do you want to go? Yeah, let's go somewhere where you've been.
I don't want to go somewhere I've been. What do you mean? Okay. So,
we'll go somewhere I've been so I can. So usually I don't have to know where we're going.
Okay, that's me too.
Sometimes I'll go somewhere to do energy work.
That's me too.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
Let's go somewhere we can't go right now.
Oh, you mean on the earth?
Overseas somewhere.
That's easy.
Well, where do you want to go? We can go off the earth too if you want.
I want to go off planet. Let's go off planet. Let's go to, you know where I'd like to go? The first galactics that ever came into my field were the blue avians. And they've come in several times in the first, but I don't know what planet they're from. Let's go find the blue avians. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm assuming you're already grounded, right?
Yes.
You feel grounded?
Yes.
Centered. Okay. So I would just say, close your eyes, right? And you're thinking about a ship, right? They have ships, don't they? They're on ships. It feels like a ship. It feels like a ship to me. All right, so what I would say is you can either just follow my energy or you can, once you know how to do this, we would just go together, right?
Yeah.
Close your eyes. Yeah. And then I
have to close my eyes.
I'm going to open a portal. And the thing about portals is a portal is always open through the heart chakra, right?
Okay. So a portal is always open through the heart chakra. If I want to go somewhere, I'm doing this. Well, I'm the audience. I'm representing the audience because this stuff I can do, but I want to see how you do it because I've never had anyone actually do this and show people how to do this. So your method.
This is just the same way to, you open through the heart chakra. Why? Because all your power there is not all your power there. That's where you pulled in your higher self, isn't it? Through your heart chakra, your crown and your heart chakra, but you can always get to your higher self, your soul self through your heart chakra.
So if somebody
you open your heart chakra.
Okay. So if it's, and I'm going to get kind of, I'm going to get kind of elementary with you because I want people everyone out there to be able to relate. Okay. So if I say to you, okay, so how does that look? How do I open my heart chakra? What does that look like to you? You know, like, so I can, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So if it could look any way you want. You can see a window opening or you can see, what are those ships where they would open like that? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That weird round opening.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of see.
Yeah, right? That's kind of cool, like a spiral.
You see it open, and then you expand it out in the spiral. You let it flow because then you're energizing yourself. You're pulling your heart chakra out, make it big, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, I can feel that. And then, so you close your eyes.
I always do mine with my eyes open.
It feels like a ship.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can do it. I can do it with my eyes open too. But when you start, I think you should close your eyes.
Yeah.
That's just
That,
me.
yeah, that's fine.
So we're going through. I feel like there's someone there waiting for you. I feel like there's a what do you call him? An avian? He's standing right there.
Blue avian.
Do you feel him? Do you see him?
Yes. Yeah, I can. I actually see him like on a what I would call
Yeah.
like the flight deck of a spaceship. I can see
Yes.
I
He's
see like
standing right
there's
there,
like
like the captain, waiting for you.
yeah, like
Go ahead.
like there's a big garage door kind of thing that's up, like a rectangular opening on the deck, and
Yes.
yeah, there we
So
go.
who else is seeing this? Keep going. Who else is
Uh,
seeing this? See,
all right,
this is
so
all you have to do.
yeah, it's very true. So I'm going to walk up to him. It's very
Oh God, I feel like they're flooding us with some kind of energy. Do you feel that energy? I'll take it. It feels good.
it's a,
Feels
it,
good.
yeah, it's a very tall being too, very tall. Like I want to say
Yes.
like 8-9 feet tall. Although I know that doesn't matter, but
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I can see. I can see. I don't want to say his or hers, but I can see their heart chakra, their heart. I can see that's I think essentially that's what they're giving us is that
Yeah,
a
he
part
has
of
something else for you too. I feel like he has something extra for you. This is mostly for you though.
ah
There's something for you. So
I
you're getting
see.
some information here. Well,
Uh-huh.
you picked it. There's a reason you picked it. This is what people need to understand because I don't question anything. If I'm sitting
Mm,
in my room and I think, oh, I need to do this weird energetic thing, I don't
mm.
sit and question it. I just do it.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what you kind of did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is another lesson. Do what comes to your consciousness. There's a
Yeah.
reason for it. So this
So
dude has something. It feels male to me. Has something for you.
feels
Yeah.
what? Feels what to you?
It feels masculine to me,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
masculine
I'm
energy.
getting that
Yeah.
too. Well, it's yellow.
Okay.
It's yellow. It's looks like a obelisk, a wand. It's crystal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crystal, but it's not a crystal I've ever seen before. It's yellow. It's an off-planet yellow, and he's
Beautiful.
it's actually it looks almost like it's not sharp, but it looks like kind of like it has like a serrated knife. It's serrated on one
Mm-hmm.
of the sides. It looks like it has maybe 6 sides, maybe 8 sides, and it's so he has it in his left hand. He wants me to take it. I take it, and when I take it, it turns a
Yeah,
yellow.
it's a sword for you. Some type.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Well, I see like a yellow.
No, but not
And
not a sword like we
no,
use. Go ahead.
yeah. No, I got you.
Go ahead.
Yes, I know what you're saying. More like yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is it has green, and it has the yellow, the green,
Mm-hmm.
orange, and red. Okay. So he's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Oh my God, I just got like a huge. I almost had like
What? Tell me.
a root chakra gasm. So it's placed.
Oh, I got that right when we got there. I got that. Yeah.
So we place. It's placed. It's placed into my chakra channel. It's got the red, the orange, the yellow, and the green, and he's explaining that it is I guess like an accelerator or an activator to bring my lower chakras into the heart to meet my upper chakras. In other words, they're converging into the heart, and I need a little assistance with that. And I'm telling you, my root and sacral are I might have to go put a diaper on. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. So let's see what else he's got here. uh, there's a this is cool. I've never done this online. I've done this with Morgan, obviously. Now, so there's like there's a lineage. That's what he's saying. There's like a lineage that contains. It comes from before the blue avian, but from the blue avian to now, there's a lineage, and there's at least one. No, there's more. There's like maybe, I can't see them all, but there's like at least 6 or 7 people, beings that I know, that I've had in my life, that are connected to this with me. We've had like many incarnations and worked together, and I know who one of them is. I can see it. One of them is my grandmother, who, interesting enough, was the first person that ever came to me from the other side of the veil when I woke up. She was the first person. It's got a
wow.
Yeah, it's got a part of the lineage is Hopi.
Oh yeah.
Hopi is one, but there's quite a few others. But that's one of the more prominent ones, or if not the prominent one. Huh. Yeah.
Tell me when you're ready to come back, because I'm wandering. I'm down in their plant room.
Well, come back up. Let's go back.
Well,
let's go back. Let's talk about it. Let's go back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, so, okay.
I'm just thinking of it. All right.
So
I think this is really cool, because and I read something yesterday, and I don't know why I didn't save it. Somebody, and it was an older writing. It wasn't somebody's new meme, and it was. And you brought this up a second ago. This is why I wanted to come back to. And it's about the imagination. You said once you get the thing, start going with it. Now, this article that I read was explaining that the imagination isn't what we think it is. Now, we're seeing from a human perspective. We think that the imagination is just like comes in and like, but that's not it. It's actually the initiator. It's actually what you said. It comes in. There's a reason it comes in. Go with it. And see, we've been taught, don't let your imagination run wild. But this is actually the vehicle of our creative ability and our ability
which,
to.
Todd, is why. Yeah, that's why I've gone so far, because I'm like a child, right? When you become like a child, anyone you talk to, I'm much older than you think, and I'm like a child. And so what I do is I just run with things, and I love my imagination. I've never felt like it was stupid, And now I just, I need to do this. Let me go do this. Well, what did you do? I don't know, but I did it, and it felt good. So who cares? Yeah.
I think that's why when they give you, you, me, we, and it, they come in and give you information, they always seem to give you like this piece and that piece. And there's like 10 pieces, but they only give you 2. And they always be like, what do you do with this?
Yeah.
You figure it out. And we're always able to figure it out, the pieces, if we stay with that stream of consciousness.
Yeah, you have to stay with it. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. I think spontaneity, that's one reason I'm
because
really
we
big.
both.
No, it's the lag. Keep going. It's the lag. I'm sorry. I mean,
But we both saw the same guy, the same mask. It feels like a mask, and I don't want to call him a guy, but we both saw him standing there. Yeah. We both saw the door. We saw the same thing. So, and some people would maybe just feel it. And when you feel it, you feel it in with your third eye. Yeah.
This is what happens with Morgan and I. So we put our hands together every night. Sometimes she'll speak. It's a higher, most of the time, the higher self. Other times it can be other aspects of her. Sometimes, very rarely, I'll speak.
Right.
But what'll happen is, and this has happened since we met. Like when we met, we the night we met, we basically merged our souls, and it was, and from that point
Yes.
on, every time we got on the phone, because we never went on camera, she wouldn't go on camera for a year and a half. Okay. But I could always see.
Oh, that sounds so familiar.
I bet. Now what?
Good.
Go ahead and go ahead. Tell me about it.
I was to say it sounds like the same story almost, but yeah,
yeah. Yeah. And I think it was
you could tell if she was upset. You could, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I remember one time, the first time she came over. I think so. She came over for 10 weeks, and it was crazy. Like we were going through like a saga, like witches, and I mean, it was just all kinds of stuff. But a lot of confirmation. Let's say at the light, there was no doubt. I mean, it was just, but still, it was very hard on the humans. So then she had to leave, and that was very abrupt.
Mm-hmm.
With the airport, they were doing construction. It was like 4:00 in the morning, and I said, "Hey, I'll go park the car. I'll come back and stay with you." And I couldn't. There was nowhere to park, so I couldn't even say goodbye to her. But anyway, so it was kind of traumatic. But I remember, the connection was like crazy. She gave me this wand, and wow. I mean, I could. In fact, it got so intense that she actually called me on the phone after about 3 or 4 weeks and said, "Put that damn thing away, because I can't. You're all over me." And I was like, "I love you every night." I was like holding on to, the funny thing is, so I did put it away. You know what the funny thing is? So I was traveling around. Now I'm in Connecticut.
What?
Now I'm over in Connecticut a few months later, and I'm trying to get back over here. And I'm broke. I'm a homeless hobo doing my broadcasting. And so I was on the phone with her, and I was looking for something in one of my briefcases or whatever. And I reached in and I started touching that wand. It was just an accidental. And I'm telling you, in that moment, she could feel it. But our connection was really, really, it was really intense. But yeah. And so this is the same thing, right? I mean, it's like, I think maybe, and I think that's one of the reasons I want to put it out there, because I think for maybe everybody, not everybody, but most people, I think all they need to know is that it can be done, right? Like that somebody delivers.
Well, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing about this, the one thing that makes it so much easier is to understand that everything's right here and there's nothing right here. So there's no such thing as time or space. That's real. So if I want to go somewhere, I can do it right here. And people think they have to leave their space. I could sit next to you in your chair right there without moving.
Yeah.
I know this, and I've been doing it for a long time. So I know how to do this kind of thing. Now, I don't do that. It's rude. You just don't do that to people, but everything's right here. So
I remember, so I was on the streets the first couple of years, that I reawoke, and then I got a laptop and I came on, then I had a laptop. And so I started to meet people, and I had the craziest stuff going on. I can remember and it started right away. And I think it happened this way for a lot of people, because you start in the message and you can feel the energy. And I remember like this one lady I was talking to, I remember like that. Like I said, I don't know if she said it or I said, "I'm there. You have a lamp over here. You have an end table over here. There's a small dresser here, no mirror." And she's like, "Holy shit, what the hell?" I'm like, "I don't know." But a lot of experiences like that. But when they happen, and this is early on, and I don't know if I talk about these things because I think people might be able to benefit from it that are just waking up. There was a part of me that was like going, wait a minute. You know what I mean? That's just like, you know what? They're like all coincidences. And then you line them all up and you're like, there's no way. But I think what I'm trying to say is you never know when that person or event or situation or experience is going to present itself that gets you over the hump. For me, it was Morgan. Because like I was connected and I was all, I was there. Soulogy was going.
Yes.
And then we connected at 3:30 in the morning. In that moment, I said, I need to talk to you. And she said, I know. And then she said, may I have permission to reach through the ethers and hold your heart in my hands? And bingo. From that point on, there was a stream in my life that was validating the craziness that I'd been experiencing, I guess is what I'm saying. So I think that's good for people to know. What's so funny?
And her name is Morgan.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it. I love it.
But I mean, but you know what I mean? It's like, and I think that's one of the things that's happening now, not just at Soulogy, but I think it's happening around the world and on the grid is cells, pockets, communities like Soulogy. There's Soulogys all over the world, I'm sure, that people can go tell their stories and they're safe and they're supported and they're not called crazy and they're not the only one,
Yeah, and I think I was really nervous about coming on here, but I thought, you know what, if just one person hears one thing
That's right.
that helps them, that's all that matters.
That's right.
I'm not like someone who likes to share a lot of stuff about myself. I know why I'm here. I know what I'm supposed to do. And I do it the best I can. And it's not about being famous. So
No.
Yeah.
So what about now this is another thing, and I'm not trying to be funny. Your guide, the masculine guide, did you ever merge with them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and the reason I'm bringing this up,
I did that first.
Yeah, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because a lot of the experiences that whenever we connect at night, it could be dragons. It could be one night these reptilians came in to basically say their job was done and explain their end of the story. And there was just, it could be Jesus came in one night. Yeah, that was trippy. Jesus came in. She looked at me.
I talked to him a lot too. Yeah.
Right. But I guess what I'm saying, and I won't get into the story, is that the energy that presents itself, the you, me, we, and it, whatever form it is, Jesus, dragon, whatever it is, a lot of times there's a merging. And I guess that's how the information is embodied and transferred, or, Yeah.
Well, it was like an integration, and that's it. It was more of a raising of my vibration.
Yeah.
At the time, right?
Or opening up.
Yeah. And a waking up of the guy, of someone else too. So, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. So
no, I
did it differently than a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really raised my vibration. It really, which I needed because I had a lot of trauma in life that I had to do inner work for. I had a lot, and it was helpful. It kept me from, sinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I did it crazy. I did it hard and fast and crazy. Thank God she came on.
Well, a lot of people are now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's another thing too.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
I mean, and I'm just using this as an example. I'm not trying to talk about Morgan and I, but as an example. So I was, for 4 years, given the download of Soulogy, doing what I was guided to do, didn't make any sense. And I was raising hell every night, I was wild. But here's the thing, here's the point I'm trying. You're just like me, like that. But here's the point I'm trying to make. I underestimated my connectivity, even though I stayed with it. And I think we underestimate our level of connectivity because we look at someone like you or like Morgan and go, oh my God, But what I'm trying to say is that this person cleared enough in the vessel to attract a like a like frequency, right? And that's all I'm trying to say. Don't underestimate
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Don't underestimate the amount of work
No.
you've done. If you're conscious of it, you know, if you're conscious of, or even thinking, oh, have I done enough? Is there another shadow I can find? Or, you know what I mean? If you're doing that, you're awake and you're ascending, I guess is what I'm saying. And it will come to you. And it may not be a divine counsel.
Yeah,
It may,
don't ask for it.
yeah.
It'll come right to you.
Yeah, right.
Don't worry about it. Don't you worry.
Have you ever had
Oh,
anything,
God.
have you ever had anything, uh, let's say in the last few years, materialize in your room? Have you ever had that happen?
What do you mean, like a
Like,
being or a
yeah,
thing?
like a being, like we had some star family
Yeah.
materialize in our room, and they were translucent but humanoid, and two of them came behind me and went into my body, you know, which was trippy. That was like
Yeah, let me tell you something. I was having a light language done once, right? Someone was doing a light language for me. And my guide thought that was the opportune time, because it was his light language, to do a little surgery inside me. I'm on a video chat listening to the light language and about to fall over and die. I'm like, and there were a few people on there and they're like, that was a beautiful light language. What was wrong? Oh my God. I don't know what he was doing. I knew it was him. It was not just him. And he said, well, a little pain now or a lot of pain later. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? It was like I was doubled over in so much pain.
wow,
I mean, I've had stuff like that happen, because when you surrender to this stuff, when you surrender to walking your path,
yeah,
and you allow your guides or your angels or whatever to help you, you have to give that permission. And I did give the permission that he could
yeah,
always heal me. But
yeah,
oh my God. Yeah. So I've had that kind of thing happen. Yeah.
and
I've had
yeah,
the biggest materialization was in Sedona. But yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Sedona's
Go
wild,
ahead.
man. Sedona's wild. I carry this with me now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not big into. I'm not big into. Like you know, I've had like different crystals and stones. When I was homeless, I had a pocket full of stones that I just picked up off the street. I didn't even know why. You know, you do those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but I've never really hung on to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Probably because I was nomadic and I'm settled now. But in Sedona, Anubis, and I've been 6 times, and the last time he didn't
Uh-huh.
show up, but he always shows up. Like you know, and maybe we're done because the last time I did see him, we merged. He like came in all ferocious with these big red eyes,
Oh yeah.
and this was third eye and not third eye, right? It was both. You know, like there was a big
Mm-hmm.
being, a big animal pacing back and forth on the top of this little crest on the other side of West Sedona, and I could hear it breathing. It was bigger than a
Mm-hmm.
dog and smaller than a bear. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But anyway, we merged, and that's what he said. He said, "Are you scared?" I said, "No," and he said, "Well, then let's do it." And so we merged, and now that I think about it, I hadn't thought about it. That's the last time I saw him. Interesting.
Well, why would you need to see him anymore? Yeah,
I don't
interesting.
know.
What do you need
Well,
to
well, I
see?
was there with Morgan and a friend, and they were at a table, kind of doing a session together in the backyard. And I was called. I saw him in my third eye, and then I was called to go up the hill, and I went up the hill, and that's what happened. And then I was up there, and because I told him, I said, "Hey, man, Anubis is here," and because it happened before, and so I just remember all the dogs and the coyotes in the canyon started going off, howling and yipping, and then she ran up to me and she goes, "You really did do something." I'm like, "I guess, yeah." But you know, these things are not going to be aberrations anymore for us. Everything's becoming physicalized,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, you have to think about it. We do create things with our imagination. We do materialize, right? What we want. It's the same thing, and energy is speeding up.
Yeah.
So you have to be more careful what you're wishing for these days or what you want to think
Yeah,
about.
you better believe it. Our thoughts are, because you know
Mhm.
why? Because first of all, they're squeezing us dry. Like, I mean, everything's coming out. And if you carrying forward thoughts that are not conducive to our expansion, you're going to kick your ass. Period. End of story. Like the further we go, like you get tapped, and then you get nudged, and then you get a big slap, and then if you really don't listen, you get a big 2x4 across the back of your head. I mean, that's how it's working.
Yep.
It's true. It's true. The higher you go, the more your ass shows.
It is true. Yeah.
I mean, the higher you go, the more
Mhm.
responsibility you have. And that's
Because you
another.
start to see, right? Don't you see how what you do and what you think and what you feel affects other people, especially in the relationship you're in? You
Mhm.
understand completely how your actions and your attitudes and what you carry around
Absolutely.
emotionally affects other people.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
when you keep going, you truly understand that. You can't not understand that, especially when you become telepathic. I think I became feeling telepathic first. I've always been that way, feeling.
Yeah.
And then you can see, and it's like if someone's lying to you. You
Yeah.
know if someone's
It,
in a bad mood, all that stuff. And it's going out. You're
yeah.
giving it to everyone else, and
Yeah.
you just learn that.
It's getting
Yeah.
louder. It's getting louder.
Mhm.
Like I can tell you, like
Mhm.
in the evolution of Soulogy, we had 4 or 5 or 6 starts and stops. Like we started up, and try to expand, and it turned into like a junior high bubblegum BS kind of social. And I'm like, hey, this, and I blow it up. And Morgan kept saying, just wait, let it happen organically. And I had to like diffuse my masculine, my alpha male soldier warrior. Let's go. But she was right. Now all these people have come forward organically, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because the what's the word, like agenda oriented, self-serving. Um, you can just
Mhm.
see it.
Service to
You're like
self.
this, yeah. You're like, oh,
Yes.
back service to self in a
Mhm.
3D sense, yeah. But yeah, it's getting
Mhm.
really loud. It
Mhm.
really is. You can't energy. Well, you know what? It's like the universe has just come in and said, hey, you've just entered the no bullshit zone. We are no longer playing those games. And if you want to play them, you're gonna let go or be dragged. Right?
Yep.
A lot of surrender too. Isn't it?
Right.
What was that
Oh
song you were
God.
singing?
Not
Tell
my
you
favorite
know,
word.
surrender.
uh,
But it's a different kind of
I can do
surrender.
anything. No, I didn't sing that. Oh
It's
yeah,
a,
yeah.
it's a different kind of surrender
It
though,
is.
isn't it?
It is a different kind.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's
It
like
is.
there's a surrender where there's suffering and sacrifice. That's the surrender I think that we thought surrender was, but this is a different surrender. This is like every time they're going to merge, there's a surrender, right? Like they ask permission and you allow it, and that's a surrender. That's like you're totally vulnerable. You know, I think that wand's going off in me again.
But then I think what happens is, is you realize, or maybe it's Morgan trying to get your attention. But I think what
Uh,
also happens is you get to a point where you realize that who and what you're truly surrendering to is yourself
yeah,
and
true.
the
That's
plan
right.
that you want to put in.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
It's like if Jesus comes in, like he did with you and he's done with us,
Hmm.
it's actually. I'll give you another example. So when I woke up, I was 1 at 11 in the morning, documented. I didn't know anything about ascension, nothing. And I'm in my backyard, and this big ball of light came through the trees, and it was turned into Jesus's face, and he started talking to me. Well,
Oh, neat.
I thought at the time, I'm like, damn, Jesus. I hadn't thought about Jesus since I was 8 or 9 years old, and but anyway, later on, I realized that was me. That was my higher self waking me up in the way that I needed to be woke up. Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And it really, like, I love what you said at the beginning of the show too, because it's all code. It's all information. And really, there's no difference between you and I right now. We're exchanging code. Then if I go lay down after this show before the next show and connect, which is what I usually do, and something comes in, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? I mean, my higher self told me a few weeks ago, said, I'm learning as much from you as you are from me. So I don't know what aspect of me that was.
Yeah.
I mean, higher self or whatever. And I love what Pamela Johnson said on the earlier show today. She said, Syrians have certain capabilities and specialties, Arcturians and all across the board. And that the human experience is we're containing all of it, and I really believe that. I really believe through downloads I've received that we will be universal healers when this trip's over because we have all the code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And when you learn to integrate with your higher self, this is kind of important. When you learn to do that, you get to a point where you understand that you can get any information. You can't contain all information because of our human bodies.
That's right.
Because I asked before I integrated, I'm like, can I know everything? Well, you can get what you need to know when you need to know it. You don't have any need to know everything at all times in this, this is kind of a container, right?
Yeah.
and it has a certain, even though you might have an expansion, you can't hold everything.
No.
Here.
But you can go tap in.
If you need something.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can tap into.
Yes. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. I'm probably overly honest, but so I've been tapping into this started because this is all Morgan's alley. Morgan tapped into the morphic field for years and years and years and had some incredible stories. She needs to be on more to talk about this stuff. But so what happened to me, I had chronic back pain for 12 years, and then it kind of got better, and every now and then it would flare up. So I was in Florida a few months ago, and I had a flare up, and I went and bought some naxiproxen, some Aleve, which is what I'd usually do. I'd take one tomorrow, and then I'm okay. But something told me not to do it, and so what I did was I didn't open the bottle, and I basically tapped into the morphic field of anti-inflammatory, and then from there it went beyond. Right, I didn't open that. Now I have. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have taken it a couple of times in the last few months, just a couple of times, but I didn't open it for 3 or 4 months, and I treated it that way. So now I tried it. I got this free trial of some testosterone, and it was a testosterone kit. And so it was made up of 5 different ingredients, like zinc. I didn't know this. It was the composites of testosterone. So I started that. I got an order for, I guess, like 30 days, it was for like $5. And so I think I did it for 2 days. So I just keep tapping into the morphic field of that. And then it's taken me different places, like you said, with the imagination. It takes me into my body. I start looking at my body. I start looking at my circulation. I start looking at, it's pretty cool. Very cool.
Yes, it is. It's awesome.
And the only thing stopping us is us, right? The only thing stopping us is our lack of confidence in,
and belief. So you can have an idea all you want, but if you can't find, it's about self-worth, it's about self-love, and it's about self-empowerment. And once you get all that, then you have the belief, you have the ability to tap into anything, but it's the process that we all have
Yeah.
to go through.
Yeah.
Because we are socialized to be the opposite. We are socialized. We are told we're nothing. We're not good enough. We're not enough. You know,
Yeah.
who would ever love you? What the hell do they have to love you about? What are you? So
Yeah.
it's a process where we have to turn ourselves around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I'm like Peter Pan. I'm like you. I like to just be a kid. But there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's
To
something
play.
about
Yeah, you gotta.
There's something about being a kid. There is. Really. There's something about
Mm-hmm.
being a kid that I don't know. It just gives me a perspective of don't take this stuff so seriously, you know. But what you were saying
Yes.
about belief,
Yes.
early on when I woke up and I was on the streets, one of the first things they gave me was look up the word faith. And I'm like, faith? I mean, I know what faith is. Faith is, well, I didn't know what faith was because if you look in the dictionary, there's a third definition that's a transitive verb. So it's motion. And it just says
Mm-hmm.
three words: to trust, semicolon, believe. To trust, believe. But it's not a noun, it's in motion, right? So that's what I think of when you were saying that. It's not like you snap your fingers and flip a switch and, oh, now, I've been working with the morphic field, of anti-inflammatory. What does it do? And it took me into my spine, and then you see the spinal fluid, and it swells, and you see it pressure on the nerves, and you know what I mean. So it's a little bit every
Mm-hmm.
day, right? It's a little bit every day.
Yes.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Dawn Bowers. We're gonna call her. So,
Okay.
Debbie Bell, I believe that's my beautiful friend from Mesa, Arizona, or actually Apache Junction, Arizona. Uh, she gifted us a bus. She gifted us a bus,
A bus.
passenger bus. Yeah, a bus. I'm talking about a bus. She got it from Vancouver, Washington, the city of Vancouver, Washington, at an auction.
Oh,
She
neat.
yeah, she drove it for 3 or 4.
Ah.
Yeah, she's a beautiful lady. She had a stroke. She was in the hospital for 4 months, and she just started
Mm.
watching us like a month before. And then I was in Sedona, and she sent us a note and said, "Hey, Spirit told me to give you this bus if you want it." Yeah, it was
Oh, that's
such a blessing.
great.
Yeah, really. She had a
Mm-hmm.
she had a thing come in the other night. I talked to her briefly on the phone. Archangel Michael came in, like visually, like she was talking to somebody on the camera, and she's like, "Hey, what's that?" So he came in, and then went. And this is another thing, like you're talking
I
about
channel
with.
him a lot.
Do
He's
you?
around a lot right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
huge. He's the one that brought me into
He.
the. He's the one that brought me to the party. He did.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay.
He brought me to
Yeah,
the party.
yeah, he was on my butt a lot too.
Yeah.
He's a tough one.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
is.
absolutely.
He. Yeah. And that. It's so weird trying to talk about this stuff because you say he or she, and I know it's me, but how does that work? But I guess you just it's like the consciousness of Archangel Michael, like came
He
in.
shows up as a he to me.
It's a he.
Yeah.
He is a he. That's
Go ahead.
masculine energy. But it's like, yeah, I remember after I woke up and he finally got my attention and all that. And he said, I'm the third one that came for you. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, we sent Gabriel and you didn't answer.
You
And
took
then,
too long.
and then he said, you took,
If Michael comes, you're screwed.
oh my God. Yeah. He came in hard and heavy, man. I'm telling you that it took
Yes.
about 7 months. And there was these things happening and he was showing up. And then I was on the streets for about 7 months. And then one night I lay down on the bed and I said, "Can I trust this path?" And then he blew up this glass of warm tea, and it shattered all over me. And I'm like,
Wow.
and I'm like, and he was like right in my face, like, remember that tree that split in half? Do you remember that chandelier that went cling cling? Remember that picture that flew off the wall? He said, you're a hard
Oh
headed.
my God. Get your butt moving.
That's right. Yeah.
See, I am too, and he has told me of too. And let me tell you, and I just did a video on my YouTube for the masculines, and I don't like doing this kind of thing. He asked me to do a video for the masculines, divine masculines. Finally I said, okay, but I softened it up a little because he's so tough. And at the end, I'm like, he's saying it's time, and he's
Yeah.
like, no. I said, it's well past time. It's well past time. It's well past time. He's just like that. Don't be nice to these masculines. Make them move. Yeah, he's funny. He is. I mean, but I guess that's why he's what the warrior angel.
He's like, well, it's
everyone
that
thinks he's the warrior angel.
It's like that. It's that. You know, the crazy thing is like, like in the months leading up to my reawakening, the night with Jesus, I had four or five of my kids in the house. I can't remember, but and one day I just started walking around saying I served in Archangel Michael's army, and they're like, Dad, what are you talking about? I'm like, I served in Archangel Michael's army. And you know how that stuff happens though? Like when you say something and you don't even know why you're saying it. You know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What? Who said
Yes.
that? Yeah.
But my kids are used to like none of this is weird to my kids. They
No, I
grew
wouldn't
up
think
with
so.
me.
Of course.
I'm me. Yeah. Yeah. They'd be like, okay, Ma. Yeah.
Are you originally from Texas?
No.
No. Okay.
I grew up
transplanted.
right outside of Philadelphia.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, I was in the army. I did the
okay.
army thing.
Oh, I know where you're at now. Okay. So yeah, I was in Camden, outside of Philly. You know where Camden, New Jersey is? Holy jeez.
Yes.
How'd you like to be in Camden, New Jersey in the middle of your awakening? Dude, oh my God.
No. I don't want to be in New Jersey ever. Sorry, Jersey people.
But Camden is like the crime capital of the country. There would be like, it was crazy, man. Hey, Deb's the lady I was telling you about. She says, okay, so in regard to Michael, now she's one of these, when she was talking to me on the phone, she said, I've never had this happen before. And I said, so as she was telling me, I could see Michael. I could see it all. And I said, hey, you're good. You just let it integrate. It'll start to make more sense. Now she says, I get yes and no's sensed in my body, but how do I get him to talk? You know, I don't know. What's your answer to that?
How do you get him? He does. You can't get him to not talk. First of all, if you're talking about Michael.
Yeah.
So what it is that we often try to listen for a different voice or whatever, and we try to listen in our head. And what you do is you want to connect with Michael, right? Connect with him with your heart chakra and listen through your heart chakra. And just sometimes it won't even be. Some people just get packages of information and you just decipher it. Just let it come in. Or if she's a writer, she can write.
Yeah,
she can
that's
write
a good idea.
what he has to say.
Yeah, writing's
just let
good.
it flow.
Yeah.
Just write what comes to mind.
I think that what she told me on the phone.
But he doesn't not talk, so
No, he's pretty loud. I actually have memories. I'm going to tell you, I actually have memories of partying with the team, that team. Like, okay, like they work hard, play hard. Okay. I know this. I remember. And then the other thing I remember too is, I think it's part of that team. Like we went to the lowest levels, the lowest dimensions, the darkest, most putrid places, so that we could offset it. You know what I mean? Like that was the whole point. Like
so that we could be able to hold our
yes,
light when we
yeah,
came back
to know to
yes,
literally break
yes,
bread in every dark corner. Yeah, like they explained to me, like for every degree you go below into the lower levels, you can go, like you can't go 100 degrees into the higher level if you've only been 50 degrees in the lower level. At least not for my function. My function
yeah,
was you had to know both equally and hold them equally in your heart. Yeah, powerful stuff.
yes,
Powerful
yes.
day. It's a powerful day. We had a
Letting
powerful
go
show.
of duality.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you had any?
Awesome.
Do you mind if we're going over? We're in over already 22 minutes. We can go. Are you all right with that?
No, I don't care. Yeah, I'm fine.
So I have another show in 37 minutes, but we'll cut it off in a few minutes. But I was going to. So have you had any interactions with elementals, like dragons, fairies?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, all of them. Yes.
Yeah. I figured you had.
I spend time. So there's a waterfall over there in the
Yeah.
fairy dimension that I like to hang out at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Honestly, I've actually seen also, not just through portals, but I was at a retreat once, and all these people were out. They were trying to look at the alien. They wanted the aliens to come say hi to them, which I never really care about that because I can just, you can talk to them anywhere.
Yeah.
And so they're all gathered out on the lawn, and I'm just walking around because there's all this energy. I'm walking across from where they're at, and all of a sudden, all these little, I don't know if they were gremlins or whatever. So I walk into the dimension where the fairies are, right?
Yeah.
And I'm calling back, guys, come look at this. Come here. They would not get off the blanket to look at the UFOs. They did not want to. My oldest son did. He came over.
Did he see
And
him?
so we saw that.
Did he see him too?
Oh yeah.
See, that's
And then
cool.
we kept, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. That's cool when
It
there's
is
more
cool.
than one. Yeah.
Well, he's yeah, and then we kept going, and it just was like it was going up dimensions. And I remember it was like putting your hand through water, but it wasn't wet. So I go shower later, and I'm like, what was that? And I was talking to Archangel Michael, and he goes, just remember 6. And the next day, my friend was channeling, so I was like, hey, ask about what dimension that was. And she said, oh, he said it was the 6th dimension. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's so cool. It's just a weird kind of, it's a
Yeah.
weird dimension. But you can, the thing about that, it's like with vortices, people create vortices when they come together with their energy. Yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
elemental. I had a dragon that protected me for a while too. Yeah, I've gone through all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
we went through about.
We all do.
We went
right?
through about 18 months of dragons, from like late 2018.
Yeah.
Into 2020. Yeah, we went through like I don't know how many. There were so many.
Because that's what dragons were big. Because they were coming here to bring a level of consciousness. That's all. That's the only way I want to explain it. I know people will give you long explanations.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But it was a level of consciousness that they wanted. Yeah, they wanted to bring through. It was a big deal.
Yeah, you're like Morgan. She's explanations. She's not into it. She's just like. I remember like the first time.
Because it's time to do this. Yeah.
Right. I remember the first time. So we were probably together like maybe a couple of months we'd known each other, and I don't even know how it started. I just remember we were talking, and I said, "Hey, I'm sitting on a curb on a street in the Holy Land. It's like a sandy street, and there's all these holy men walking by." And she's like, "Okay." And so I ended up telling the story how I got in line with him, and I followed him down to this place where they had a stage, and John the Baptist was up there, and Jesus was up there, and Jesus was telling me to come up to the stage. And so I tell this, and Odin was behind me with a bunch of nymphs around him, and he this big scepter, and I'm telling her the whole story. She's like going, it's the only time I've ever gone that deep with her, because after that she was like, you're just getting an activation, they're just showing you that. It's not like, you know, you don't need to
I
go.
love her.
I know.
I
That's
love
what I mean. You can relate to this. So it's that with her. It was like that.
her.
So it was a big activation. And it was fascinating for me because it was, and I have third eye stuff go on. I love when the movies play like that, you know. And but this was actually like I'm there, like in the dream. And she's like, for her, after 20 years, this is like, you know, this is like another day at the office, you know. But the other thing she does that on is because she's a practitioner, even with me, you know, like over the years, like she'd say, okay, do you want to talk about it or do you want to clear it? I'm like, well, wait a minute. I need to talk about it. Don't I need to talk about it? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? But you don't have to. That's what's so cool about it, right? You don't have to talk about it. I think there's some benefit for people telling a story at least once
Mhm.
in a protected and safe environment where they're not judged, right? But after that,
Yes.
you know, what's the point? You know, I'm not my story, right? Mm.
Right. Absolutely. You are not your story. And you get to make up your story. That's the best part about this. That's one of
I
the best
know.
things you discover as you do this stuff. Yes.
So last thing, because I don't want to hold you, and I gotta decompress and then meet the higher self with the next guest,
Yes.
who's really cool. She's a really cool lady. Um, what do you think is happening? There, does it seem to you like there is? How do I put this? Like the connection between dream state and awake state is like doing this, like I, especially the last few days, right?
Yes.
I wake up and
Yes.
it's almost like, okay, like us right today. Like it's almost like I want to say you and I talked in dream state. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to try to do. Let's do whatever we do from that end of the veil and try to make the humans remember. It's like, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Yesterday was a great example. I worked with 3 or 4 people, you know, on the soulogy stuff. And it was like weird.
Yeah.
Like everything was like perfectly sequential, in order, aligned, and the flow was just like this, right? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that we're
Okay, so you want my intuitive answer or the
yes.
dream thing? Because for you, my intuitive answer is that you're just finally aligning with this and allowing it, and you kind of the people who come in are aligning with them. Like
Mm,
earlier, I did the whole ground and center thing, and
mm,
and I heard just be yourself, just
yeah.
relax and be yourself, and that's kind of what it is. Now there is something weird going on in dream state, and it may for you relate to your work, but I've had quite a few nights in the past week where I wake up, I feel like I was having some weird energetic war almost, not war. And
Mm,
this stuff isn't scary to me, so it's nothing scary, but it
mm,
feels like I'm doing something with energy
yeah.
and I'm waking up constantly and I'm
Yeah.
pushing something away, I'm pulling something. It's so weird. There is
Yeah.
weird stuff going on in
I
dream
agree.
dream state. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I know that some of it
but
for
no,
me, yeah. This lag, I can't believe we had this lag. It's weird. Usually I have it with people across the other
go
side of the
ahead.
world.
It's okay.
But what I was going to say is that I know there's 2 aspects. There's the lucid dreams, and then there's the energy
Mm-hmm.
work. The energy work, I would say the way you coined it. The lucid dreams, I can tell, are purging stuff. Like things are coming up, and because
Mm-hmm.
they're being released or healed or aligned or something, I can tell. But the other stuff, like I remember back in like 2014, 2015, for about 2 years, I would have these galactic war dreams. Like, you know, the light
Mm.
versus the dark versus the light versus the dark. And it was just like, and I'd wake up and I'd be bruised and, you know, I'd be like, what the hell? But it's not like that. This is more
It
like,
was very prevalent then.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was. It was. But now
Go ahead.
I'm with you. It seems like there's a whole bunch of energy. Like I could just see, okay, I'll just speak to myself. I could see myself in the ethers, with like what's that show? Pokemon, not Pokemon, but Dragon Ball Z. Like I have like energy balls in my hand going, whoom, not in a bad way, not destroying anything, but just like throwing it, like throwing these giant energy balls into like vortexes and portals and like, one of the big things that I do with my imagination is with unconditional love, like these pink auric bombs, but at the same time, it's like depleting. Like you wake up and my third eye is all red and dry. I mean, the rest of my skin's not dry, but right on my third eye, it's all dry and red. And then I'm dehydrated.
Because we're working.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool.
It's work. It's so weird because the energy stuff, I cannot grasp it. It's one of the things, like I can pull back a dream, especially these lucid dreams that have been happening, but the energy work, I cannot find it. I start to grasp a tiny bit of maybe what it was about, and I cannot. So it has to be something.
You can't put your finger on it.
That just we're not used to, and it's
I've asked in regard to that and to some other stuff, and I've been told you can't know, because if you know, it's going to take all the fun out of it. You're basically going to be like, like and I guess this would apply to any of us, but they just said like, you can't know because it'll be over. Like you won't even be like, able to function, because it'll be like, oh, this is just how it works. No big deal. I don't know. It's cool. This has been a good show. We should do it again sometime.
Yes, thank you. I would love to. I had
very
fun.
Cool. Yeah. So all blessings to you and yours, and look forward to collaborating with you again. I enjoyed it. You're a very cool lady, and thank you for whoever set this up. We'll be back in 26 minutes with Melina Ferguson, and she's amazing. Yeah, she's amazing. It's an amazing day for some reason. All right, everybody, and thank you so much. Peace out. Take care.
Thank you.